Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Please forgive the roosters in the background. Hope you're all doing well today. So I found another issue with this neck blank as I was cutting. Turn this fretboard on here. Actually the neck. I had to move these holes, these two here and these two, and you need to move them an equal distance, but I had to move them away from the center 0.1 inches because my 1/2 inch bit coming through this area here would just nick the side of this. Also, I had to ditch the inserts in the table. I tried to screw into the MDF board. It just got real sloppy and loose, and it was very difficult to try to get them straight, so I just filled in all those holes with dowel and super glue, and then I'm just using screws to hold everything down, and that's working just fine. As long as the pins are in place, the screws work just fine. I would prefer to have the threaded inserts in there, but this MDF is just too cheap. It disintegrates too easily. So unfortunately, yeah, these holes need to be moved. If you're going to be using a smaller than a 1/2 inch ball nose, and smaller than a 1/2 inch flat coming through here, then you're fine already. If you're using a 3/8 bits in here, that'll be okay. But a 1/2 inch just won't quite make it through here. Like I say, I moved mine from the center out on both sides. I moved these out 0.1 inches and then had to obviously redo everything. Also, I discovered that we already have these holes taken care of when we do these truss rod cavities, and so you're just putting a hole on top of a hole. So I took them out of the neck blank, and that's all the holes I need for the neck blank, and it worked out a little bit better. Okay, so let's move along from here then. While I'm thinking about it, on this body blank right here. Now this blank is set up if you're not going to use a top on your guitar, if you're just going to use a solid piece of wood. And if you are using a solid piece of wood, the issue would be these channels right here. You just have to use a drill and drill from this face, through here and through here to get the cabling from this cavity to this cavity, and then again from the back, which is typically done on solid body guitars with no top cap on them. You have to drill this hole by hand, and this one as well after the fact. This is really the only one here that could be a little bit humbug, but you don't really have to go that far to get it underneath this plate right here. However, if you are going to do a drop top, then we need to make a body blank for that, and to do that, turn this body blank we have on. You'll need to go through the list. I've already done this once, so mine have moved, but this remove body, no. Starting back at the very beginning of the plan here, I had these 3 removals in a row here, and then a single removal right here. And then I had 2 removals here with a few things in between them. Yeah, the one is called Comfort here, and the other one, the one we need, used to be back there beside that one, but since I've been playing with it, it's now up here at the very end of mine. Anyway, you need to find it. It's called the drop top. It says remove body drop top, and what you need to do is right click and delete that removal. So that'll bring this drop top tool back up here. And now we just need to split this body with this tool So we'll go up here and do split body, and the body split will be this body blank, and the tool will be drop top 2, and extend the splitting tool here and click OK on that. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this again, and then I'm going to go up here to combine, and I'm going to pick the bottom part first and then the top part and do a cut operation, and do not keep the tool. And there you have it. Now you can cut this blank out, and then do all your channel routing in here, cavity routing, and then go ahead and glue your drop top right on top of that. And I'm going to go ahead and save that right here. And now let's take a look over here at this. Actually, I need that PDF again. I'm going to turn that PDF back on over here in my MK1 folder. And what I want to do is create a snip, get my snipping tool out and make a new one. I want to grab the whole back of this guitar body right here, and I'm going to save that. Okay, let's see here. We have this body fixture, this body right here, and I want to turn this thing upside down and in this direction. I want to go ahead and insert for my computer, and I'm going to do this belly cuts. And let's see, I think this body, we can do this on the back construction plane here on the back one. That's fine. And I'm going to start dragging it up. And this one, I'm just going to flip it and rotate it right where it is and get it pretty close. And I'm going to call that close enough. I'm going to say OK to that. Okay, so for these comforts and belly cut here, there are two ways I'm going to go about doing this. I'll start on this belly cut first. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sketch. And I'm going to put that on this back plane here. And roll this back around again. Okay, so for this belly cut, I'm going to draw a line just outside of the body here from this point over to this point. Now for this shape right here, I guess you would use a spline to get it best. I think just a curve would work as well. And I'm going to go with the spline, I guess. I think I'm going to control point is a little easier than the fit point on the machine, I think. So I'm going to start right here and just put a few curves in here. Click enter on that, and then just drag these into position here. And I think that'll be just fine. I'm going to finish that sketch and call that one the belly cut. I may or may not go back and lock that down. And then I'm going to create a plane at angle here. I'm going to do it on this line right here and do 90 degrees. And then go ahead and create a sketch on that plane. And turn this upside down again. And I am going to project in. Let's hide this canvas. It's making it hard to see. Go ahead and project in. Well, I'm going to have to hide this body as well. This straight line right here. And click OK on that. And now for this side, I am going to create a conic curve. Turn my body back on here. From here to here, and this time I'm going to go out to about here. 0.75 looks like, and finish that sketch. Go ahead and hide this body for now. There we go. And then do the loft from here to here. New body, okay. Turn back on my body. Hide these sketches. And combine them again. This one, cut, don't keep, okay. Yeah, that's better. Can live with that. Okay, let's turn back on this canvas here. Belly cuts. Now for this one over here, I'm going to do something a little bit different. This method doesn't really work too well up in this horn area, so I'm going to do this one a little bit different. So I'm going to create an offset plane, and I'm going to offset it from this back plane. Let me turn this body back on for a moment so I don't get confused in my direction here. Yeah, I'm going to offset it from this back plane, however thick you want that cut to be. 0.5 is too much. I think I'm going to go about 0.3. Okay. Let's see, now I've got that new plane in here. Here's another one. This was the belly cut loft. I'm just going to call it the belly loft. And I'm going to call this one the back comfort. Loft. I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch on there. I'm going to hide this belly cut again, and I'm going to turn on my top. And I'm going to project in, let's hide this for the minute here. I'm going to project in this half over here. Click OK on that. I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing upside down. Okay. And then I want to draw a and then I'm going to draw a straight line from this point out here. And the point we're looking for is if you draw an imaginary arc through the center of this horn out here to where it would intersect this arc if you continue this arc further on out. Say about here. And click OK on that, click enter on that. And then I want to draw a fit point spline right at the point where this starts to straighten out or go the other way, about here to this point. I'm going to hit enter on that. I'm going to select that line and make it tangent to this curve. Then you want to scroll in here and make sure this is a good clean V in here. You don't want this line going over this line and then back down again. It's not going to work. So you just want to make sure this is a nice clean V in here. And I'm going to go ahead and finish that sketch. And I'm going to call that the back comfort loft. I'm going to hide this top again. And then I'm going to create another new sketch and right on the back. And I'm going to project in this line. Then I'm going to turn back on the belly cut canvas. And I'm going to use a fit point spline and just go from here just put a few points in here, more than 3, and then just kind of shape this out. A bit too harsh. And it comes in through the center. I think that'll probably be okay like that. I'm going to finish that sketch. You can call this the back. I'm going to name this the back comfort. And hide this belly cuts. And now I'm going to do a loft. Yeah. Now I'm going to do a loft between these two. And new body and OK. And then turn back on my body. And do a combine. Target is this, tool is this, cut and do not keep. And you may have to fudge it around a little bit to get this corner to come out right. I have found sometimes that straight line that we drew, well, let me just demonstrate. Let's see, so I'm going to go ahead and edit. You have to edit the line from where it was originally drawn. We projected the line to the back comfort, so it's not going to be any value to try to edit it there. We need to go back to the original line, which is down here in the back comfort loft. And I'm going to edit that sketch. And I'm just going to grab this point right here and just drag it out a little further, maybe a little in that direction, and finish that and see what it looks like. So you can see it made a big difference in and how this thing shapes out here. Actually going the other way might work. Let's undo that and see what it looks like. Let's move it the other direction here. That's about the same, really. But anyway, you can mess around with that, and don't forget, all this will be finished with hand sanding anyway to get the final shape and the final contour. Do it with sandpaper. And that's the way I do it. I'll go ahead and save that here. And for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do those again. You do the same process on the front here, but you do it twice, and the only difference is you'd have to cut it through when you're finished. You'll have to cut it through both the neck, both the body and the drop top will have to be cut through independently, and then should be good to go on that. Alright guys, sorry about the thing with the neck blank for the second time. It happens though. I'm doing this in real time, so I have not made any cuts on this prior to putting out these drawing videos. So if I'm cutting this body later and I find a mistake, well, that's real time. It's a mistake that I made while making these videos. But so far we've come out pretty well. I cut the neck out yesterday, which will be the next video, and thought I made a drastic mistake. For a moment, the router took a deep dive at a point that I wasn't expecting. I thought I ruined everything again, but then in retrospect I'm like, no, that is right. So I went back and let it finish the cycle, and yes, it was okay. So you can look forward to that in the next video. Alright guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to save your work, and God bless everybody.